Hi, I'm Tupelo Kenyon, coming to you from the mountains of Southern California near the Salton Sea. And today, we're going to explore the law of attraction. In a previous video entitled 10 Steps to Discovering Your Life's Purpose, I mentioned that for me, purpose is the Rosetta Stone of all personal development ideas. Discovering your purpose and then living it depends upon understanding some basic principles of how things work. Of all the principles I've found, an understanding of the law of attraction is definitely one of the most important. When it comes to building the life we choose, this is the cornerstone, the solid rock upon which all else depends. Although I've been avidly soaking up personal development ideas since the late 60s, it wasn't until the early 90s that I first heard it so clearly described. The short and sweet definition of the law of attraction is that like unto itself is drawn. The image that comes to mind is a magnet pulling iron filings toward itself. You can't see how it's happening, the actual mechanics of it is invisible, but you can see the obvious results. Like magnetism or electricity, it's not necessary to understand the details of how it works. It's enough to observe that it does work, and then busy ourselves with how best to put it to work in our lives.
Thought momentum.
This discussion of the law of attraction doesn't focus on things like magnets and filings, but upon the more subtle tools we use to create our lives, our thoughts. Whatever we think about grows. The more time and energy we invest in thinking about any given subject, the bigger it gets and the more influence it exerts on our experience. A thought attracts other thoughts like it and creates its own momentum, like a snowball rolling downhill. The bigger it gets, the faster it grows. The seed thought that is attracting others like it could be a memory of the past, a mental image of the future, or whatever is happening now. Regardless, the law of attraction responds to thought in this present moment, always. Here's an interesting wrinkle in how this works. The law of attraction always works by inclusion and never by exclusion. It responds directly to the thought itself, regardless of whether you are mentally saying yes to it or no to it. If you picture in your imagination something you do not want, the universe gets the picture only, and not the idea of do not want.
Thinking not that doesn't work.
Unwanted things and events are present in our lives because of our attention to them. Most of us are constantly creating unknowingly, since we are just now beginning to understand that our lives are created by what we think about all day. Even if we are mentally shouting at the top of our voice, "No, no, not that. I never want that in my experience," the universe gets a clear picture of that, plus the extra energy of your strong emotion, and dutifully brings you the very thing you'd hoped to avoid.
Recipe for manifestation.
Your attention to it, plus your strong feelings about it, is your point of attraction. It's all about attraction and has nothing to do with repulsion. You get whatever you think about most and feel strongly about, whether you want it or not.
The buffer of time.
Our thoughts come and go all day, every day. Does that mean that every time a disagreeable thought goes by, we are creating a disagreeable future? The answer is yes, but. Yes, our future is molded by the thoughts we think, but fortunately we have the benefit of the buffer of time. Otherwise, our lives would be quite a tangled mess, being instantly created by our undisciplined minds. Monitoring every single thought and editing them all on the fly would be a Herculean effort. Fortunately, there is a much easier way.
Your internal guidance system.
All we have to do is pay attention to how we feel right now. Do you feel good? If so, you are, in this moment, creating something beneficial that is known in the depths of your being to be a positive, helpful direction for you. Do you feel bad? If so, you are, in this moment, creating something detrimental, a distraction for you, taking you away from the direction you really want to go.
Emotions are the key.
Your emotions are a very powerful and very simple internal guidance system. They let you know, in any given moment, whether or not the thoughts you are thinking right now are bringing you closer to something you want or something you don't want.
Emotions simplified.
It's deceptively simple considering the wide range of emotions we experience, each with its own name and level of intensity. But forget all that for a moment and simply ask yourself, does this feel good or does this feel bad? If it feels good, this train of thought is working for me, helping to create the life I desire. If it feels bad, this train of thought is working against me, contributing to the creation of a life I do not want. Our internal guidance system is infallible and elegant in its simplicity. That doesn't mean it's easy to implement after first hearing about it. Old habits die hard. It takes patience and perseverance to get in the habit of noticing how you feel right now.
Notice how you feel now, and now, and now, and now.
Whenever you feel bad, no matter what name you apply to the emotion, it takes discipline to develop the habit of taking a step back, finding that objective point within, and asking yourself, okay, exactly what am I thinking here that has created this unpleasant feeling? That's the first step. Once identified, the next step is to ask yourself, how would I reposition these thoughts to attract what I want rather than what I do not want? Once identified, do it. Think about what you want to create. Spend more time feeling good as a result of adjusting the attraction point of your thoughts than you spend wallowing in negative emotion. This allows you to balance the scales, and with the benefit of the buffer of time, it ensures that overall you are attracting what you really want.
Manifestations fast track.
Do you want to manifest it quicker? Simply spend more time thinking about it while feeling good and less time thinking about it while feeling bad. Quicker still? Well, ramp up the intensity of your emotions while clearly visualizing your desire. Thoughts accompanied by strong emotions are the fast track to manifestation. Thoughts devoid of feeling are comparatively neutral. Their power of attraction is weak. Thoughts, visualizations, and imaginative flights of fancy fueled by strong feelings jumpstart the law of attraction and minimize the buffer of time.
Accentuate the positive viewpoint.
Remember the importance of defining clearly what you want. Whenever your experience brings you opportunities to notice clearly what you do not want, make a quick mental note of it and immediately turn it around and reposition it as something you do want. This is crucial to manifesting your desires because when you say to yourself, no, not that, anything but that, and you are feeling strong emotion, the universe, through the law of attraction, is getting the message loud and clear. The universe is getting a strong, focused, passionate picture of that and is already in the process of bringing into your experience the very thing you were trying to avoid.
Deliberate creation.
First, feel good. Do whatever it takes for you to feel good. Listen to music, pet your puppy, take a walk, eat chocolate, work out, go fishing, take a nap, whatever it takes. This good feeling is the fuel to ignite your dreams and desires. Once you are in your good feeling state, become still and quiet and spend 15 or 20 minutes clearly envisioning what you want. See it, smell it, hear it, touch it, taste it, and mostly feel it. Feel good about it. Feel great about it. Feeling grateful for its manifestation in your life. Be enthralled with it and feel the joy of it now in this present moment. This is the very same process used by billions of people every day. In fact, everyone. The difference is you are learning to do it deliberately, on purpose, by design. Most everyone else does it by default, unaware.
Manifestation for the unaware.
Most people fill their head with what they do not want by saturating their minds with whatever drivel the TV happens to be dishing out at the moment. Gossip and the news, bad news. Then they get upset about it, which adds fuel to the fire of their visualizations. The law of attraction goes to work with the power of the universe and dutifully manifests in their experience exactly what they have invested the most time thinking about, supercharged by the intensity of their emotions.
Manifestation for the aware.
Since we know that whatever we give our attention to grows larger and whatever we feel most strongly about manifests quicker, it's easier to notice what our emotions are telling us in any given moment. Whenever you feel the first twinges of an unpleasant emotion, ask yourself, am I creating what I want deliberately on purpose, or am I creating by default what I do not want through lack of awareness? Well, you know the answer, so flip-flop your thoughts and focus on what you desire instead. Your mood will improve almost instantly.
Pull with the power of attraction. Don't push.
Because of the mechanics of the law of attraction, it doesn't work to push against the things you do not want. The more passionate you are about not wanting something, the more quickly you attract it into your life. That's why the typical approaches of so many of our social programs are so ineffective. For example, the war against drugs, the war on terrorism, the war on poverty. By pushing against these things, anything, you are actually activating the vibration of it within your being, fueling it with the power of your passion, and therefore rapidly attracting more of it into your experience. Instead of helping, you're part of the problem, unknowingly participating in its perpetuation. That's why Mother Teresa refused to participate in any kind of anti-war demonstrations. I don't remember the exact quote, but she said something like, "Whenever they begin holding demonstrations for peace, count me in." She clearly understood the futility of pushing against that which you want to avoid.
Choose to feel good.
Remember, the law of attraction is constantly responding to your thoughts and feelings. You can't turn it off. You can't call a timeout. These thoughts can be the result of some physical experience happening now, or a memory, or an imagined future. The universe responds to each of these thoughts the same and delivers to you a future defined by the predominant thoughts and feelings of your past. Only in this present moment do you get to choose. So choose the thoughts that make you feel good.
Getting unstuck.
Why does it seem so hard to get unstuck from undesirable situations? When you're in the middle of it, it seems that everywhere you look is more evidence of the life you do not want. Therefore, the overwhelming balance of your thoughts remain focused upon what you do not want. This is where the importance of discipline and willpower comes in. It's up to you to create in your imagination an appealing, clear picture of the future you do want and fuse it with the most positive emotions you can find. You have to do it deliberately and incessantly to offset the evidence of what your senses are telling you about the details of your everyday life. To tip the scales and attract the life you want instead of more of the life you do not want, you have to make your imagined future predominant in your thoughts and intense in your feelings. So do your best to fill your mind with what you want and avoid thoughts about what you do not want. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And the easier it gets, the more fun you'll have. And the more fun you have, the better you will feel. And the better you feel, the quicker you manifest. Begin from where you are now and do what you can. Be patient. Be grateful for the knowledge that you can change what's going on out there by paying attention to what's going on in here.
Deliberately guiding your thoughts is the key to a joyful life, but a desire to feel joy is the best plan of all, because in the reaching for joy, you find the thoughts that attract the wonderful life you desire. The Law of Attraction, Esther and Jerry Hicks.
Since first becoming exposed to the work of Esther and Jerry Hicks in the early 90s, it's been wonderful to see how their ideas have been adopted and adapted by so many other creative people. The principles of manifestation through the law of attraction and the deliberate creation of a joyful life have been incorporated into other books and songs, including mine. If these ideas about the law of attraction resonate with you, I highly recommend that you go to the source and get the message directly as delivered by Esther Hicks and her late husband, Jerry. I've always found their style to be very accessible, clear, logical, and pertinent. Their books and audio talks go right to the heart of the matter and answer countless questions, eventually asked by all of the people that are sincerely interested in personal development. Their book entitled The Law of Attraction is a good place to start. For more in-depth insights, I also recommend Ask and It Is Given and The Amazing Power of Deliberate Intent. Dr. Wayne Dyer is also a fan of Esther and Jerry Hicks, and he wrote the foreword in Ask and It Is Given and did a good job of paraphrasing much of their material in his own style in his book, The Power of Intention, which is also available as a live presentation by Dr. Dyer. These are among the most powerful, insightful, and helpful books in my collection, so I have no problem recommending them. Get them. You'll be glad you did.
The Secret.
I was really excited to see these powerful ideas begin to emerge in the mainstream. There's an innovative DVD called The Secret, which presents these principles in an easy-to-digest format. It's perfect for introducing someone to these life-changing ideas. It has a Hollywood look, so it's a lot like watching a movie, except the subject matter is perhaps the most important thing we can learn to enhance the quality of our lives. Several successful people are interviewed, and as they share what discovering the secret has meant in their lives. It's fast-paced, and it's good enough to watch several times. What is the secret, you may wonder? The law of attraction, of course. The people interviewed in the Secret movie were featured on Oprah's TV show. It's very encouraging and gratifying to see more and more people receptive to these ideas that allow them to take control of their lives and create the future they desire. Seeing these ideas hit the mainstream gives me hope and encouragement for the future of our race.
Each step gets easier.
You are obviously interested in personal development, or you would not have attracted this video into your experience. The information is out there, and the knowingness of its value to each of us individuals is in here if we just learn to translate what we are feeling. It's a great time to be alive. Never before has so much good information been so readily available so that we can all take the next step in our personal evolution. A few years ago, I had the pleasure of meeting Esther and Jerry Hicks and participating in one of their workshops on the law of attraction and the art of allowing. It was a moving experience, and as I was driving home after it was all over, the question came to me, what if I believed in the law of attraction with the same certainty that I believe in the law of gravity? What would I do differently? How would my life be if I lived by these principles and approached these ideas with the same knowingness that I hold for the law of gravity? When I jump up into the air because I believe in the law of gravity, I fully expect to come back down to Earth rather than floating off through space. If I really did have the same certainty about the law of attraction, how would it affect the way I launch my thoughts into space? Would I choose them more carefully? Infuse them with positive emotion more deliberately?
Personal development is an ongoing opportunity.
I've been gradually incorporating these powerful principles into my life for many years, and I'll admit I still have a lot to learn. Sometimes I'm amazed at the speed and precision when I'm aware enough to notice the law of attraction sculpting my life according to my thoughts. Other times, it seems like a slow process. It's fun and fascinating, though, and it just keeps getting better and better. As we continue to deepen our understanding of this pivotal principle of creation, this law of attraction, we see the precision and fairness of how it unfailingly responds to our thoughts. As we begin to notice the resulting changes in our lives, we realize the power of our free will, if we will but choose it. What a blessing it is to be alive at this exciting time of rapidly expanding consciousness globally, while we continue to learn to become ever better, deliberate creators. It's my wish for you, my expectation, that you will continue to find what feels good for you, and you will continue to refine the mental image of your ideal life, your perfect life. And you will continue to invest more time on the mental vision of what you are attracting and less time on what you are wanting to avoid. And as a result, you will continue to create an ever more joyful life as you become more and more identified with your innermost being, who you really are. And as the joy in your life increases, I expect that everything else will fall perfectly into place. As we all continue learning how not to send mixed signals to the universe with our thoughts, our experience will continue attracting more joy, more peace, satisfaction, and meaningful contribution to one another as we continue to fine-tune our vibrational alignment with our evolving understanding of the laws of the universe. I'm Tupelo Kenyon. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to celebrate life.
Life is a promise. Fulfill it. Mother Teresa.
What you see is what you get. So focus on your dreams, 'Cause if you picture what you dread, you'll create that instead. I once knew a man who had a plan and a dream. He planned to be as rich as you can get. But every time he turned around, he faced another bill. His mind was full of bills, and his life was full of debt. And now I know a man who has a dream and a plan. He dreams to be as rich as anyone. And when he pays his bills, he fills his mind with great success. His mind is full of what's to come till his dream is finally won. What you see is what you get. So focus on your dreams. 'Cause if you picture what you dread, you'll create that instead. I once knew a time when I would groan and complain. Why was this always happening to me? No matter what, I always got the short end of the deal. And it was always someone else's fault as far as I could see. Which wasn't very far, by the way. Then once upon a time I realized I'd been a fool. If it is to be, it's up to me. You can work your fingers to the bone and cry your eyes to sleep, but the bottom line's what's in your mind, the dreams that you believe. What you see is what you get. So focus on your dreams. 'Cause if you picture what you dread, you'll create that instead. So remember, dreams must live within your heart, not just your head. And live as if instead. 'Cause what you see is what you get.